There are lots of people in books out there right now that have bought into the idea that if you're going to be happy, you better live your best life right now. You only live once, and this is your only chance to do the things that you want to do, and you don't want to get to the end of your life and feel like you missed out on something or didn't get what would have made you happy, and so you better do it right now. Look after yourself, do what makes you happy, think about yourself, all that sort of stuff. In fact, we hear it so often that I don't think we even question it anymore. We just assume that that's true. That's got to be right. That's the only way to live, is to get what you want right now so that you don't regret it later. Let me ask you this. When you think back of all the people that have come in and out of your life, who do you admire the most? Does a name pop to mind right away? If I ask you, who is the person who influenced you the most? Does a name jump up right now? I imagine it does. Now let me ask you this. Why did you admire them? How did they influence you? What did they do that made such a difference that makes their name jump out at you out of all the thousands and thousands of people you've ever met over the course of your life? I'm going to guess that it has nothing to do with what they had or what they did. I'm going to guess the person that influenced you the most, or the one you admired the most, was the one who treated you the best. We remember people fondly because of the way they treat us. We remember people fondly because of the way they lived, not what they accomplished or not for what they did all the time for themselves. Proverb writer knows that as well. He writes in Proverbs chapter 10, verse 7, "The memory of the righteous will be a blessing, but the name of the wicked will rot." The memory of the righteous will be a blessing. Maybe it's worth our time to think about living in a different way. Rather than living for ourselves and doing only what makes us happy and getting everything we can right now so that we've got what we want, and then being completely forgotten because we really didn't have any impact on anyone because we were thinking about ourselves. Maybe it's time we started thinking about, what can I do? How can I live that I can influence others for good for later on? The memory of the righteous will be a blessing. The question I want to leave with you this afternoon is simply this. When you're gone, who's going to look back and say, I'm really glad I knew them? We can choose to live in such a way that that happens, not to our glory, but to God's glory, and so that others are helped by us. You do only get one life. You only go through one time. Maybe we ought to live for something bigger than ourselves.